The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Are you craving for that special meal that will entice your taste buds and leave you with lasting, thrilling memories? Look no further. Spice Island Bulenga has got your answer. Natural, fresh and delicious juice, the best meals. Don't miss our daily specials from Monday to Sunday. Pizza Wednesday, Saturday Pizza Bonanza, you buy one and take two. Come dine with us and feel the experience. We are located at Prime Shopping Center in Bulenga, Mitiana Road. For inquiries, call us on 0704111720. Spice Island, we treat your cravings. Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digital. The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Good morning, Uganda. Good morning to you all over there, wherever you're watching from. This is the Alternative Dig Talk TV, and my name is Kenneth Rwemirembe Rubatsimbira. It is a special moment. It is a Tuesday here, and the 25th of November 2025. We thank you so much for being part of us. This is Uganda's leading online platform that is trusted for being non-partisan and delivering the best information. Information, I always tell you, that you can rely on to make an informed decision. And this very morning, we are here to give you updates, tell you what's happening in our country, Uganda, and we sometimes even take you outside to know what's happening over there. We believe you have to know everything that is happening. For as long as you are our subscriber, and if you have not yet done such an amazing decision, please tap that subscribe button on your screen if you're watching us on YouTube and join the platform that is trusted by millions and millions of people. You will not regret. Here we prioritize matters of national importance, and now let's dive deeper into the stories that are shaping conversations this morning. Believing that out there you're having a fantastic day and it has started very well for you. If it is not as you expect, of course our prayers have never stopped being wishing you all the best in whatever you do. So please tap the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell such that whenever we go live, you're the first to know and be part of this amazing conversation. The Mighty Drive runs Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And of course, we always bring in different guests that is in the entire Mighty Drive show after the updates, and we always discuss about stories that are shaping conversations in our country, Uganda. Of course, that are solutions based. We don't just talk about problems, but we also suggest the possible solutions for the good of our country, for the good of this world. And now, diving deeper into the stories we have this morning, following now the clashes that happened at the NUP headquarters in Kawempe with the police. Now, of course, the moment was really tense over there. The supporters of the National Unity Platform Party clashed with police. The headquarters of the party were heavily secured. Security officers from different units were there, and of course, but this did not support. This did not stop supporters from coming over there. Thousands of them were actually there. They came at the offices, but of course they now had a difficult moment with the police and the other security officers who were there trying to stop them from entering the party headquarters. This did not stop them, and later on we saw Honorable Kyagulanyi Sentamu, who is the presidential candidate and flag bearer for the National Unity Platform, come there. He arrived and thousands, of course, were following him, but the security forces tried to stop the crowds from following him to Kawempe, where he had his campaign rally. Very many people were there. Thousands came running, following him. And the moment was really tense. The police trying to stop them. We saw them at a certain point actually tear gassing these very supporters, trying to calm them down. Now, police have cautioned all political candidates to stop holding campaign processions, warning that such activities continue to spark confrontations between security officers and the campaign teams. But these political candidates say the police is just targeting them. They are doing everything following the law. They are not breaking any law. However, the police insists that these people are carrying out processions which they said they will not allow. And of course, that was the moment there in Kawempe, and Honorable Kyagulanyi Sentamu finally had his rally there and asked the people to support the National Unity Platform. He talked about them. He asked them to always be calm people, not to respond negatively to these security officers. He also said that the bad conduct by these supporters sometimes is triggered by the conduct of the police. However, the police has always time and again engaged with these political candidates, asking them not to carry out processions, saying that they limit freedoms of other road users, and that the police is not ready to tolerate that. Now, of course, the tension between the National Unity Platform and the police continues to rise each day, but that is the moment over there. The leaders of the National Unity Platform, including the leader of opposition, Joe Senyonyi, said that the police is doing these things deliberately to weaken the National Unity Platform and opposition, which they said they are not ready to follow, or they are not ready to surrender, and that they are ready to fight for what they call a new Uganda and to overthrow the one they called dictator. Now, leaving that aside, of course, Honorable Kyagulanyi also talked about some of their supporters that are arrested, saying that the number by yesterday had risen to 180 people who are in detention, detained by these security organs. Now, he said that they will not stop fighting for them and calling upon these institutions to release their people, saying that they did nothing wrong. These security officers are just doing this to stop them from exercising their rights as citizens. Now, in our other news, we learned about a certain police officer who was shot dead, and that is Assistant Superintendent of Police Emmanuel Bogere, who was shot dead by suspects or unknown robbers while trying to pursue them. Assistant Superintendent of Police Emmanuel Bogere was received a phone call and was rushing to make sure they try to stop these robbers from attacking who they were trying to attack. And on the night of November 23rd, 2025, around 10:25 p.m., a murder incident occurred in Ntawo cell. Of course, murdering now, shooting dead this police officer. And the Emmanuel Bogere, officer in charge of Ntawo police post, along with a police constable, pursued suspected armed robbers following a report of armed robbery in Chuala village. But eventually, these people they were pursuing pretended that they were surrendering to the police. And now when these police officers came in closer to now get hold of them, one of these people who were actually in the motorcycle had to knock this one over the vehicle of the police officers, injuring them, and now grabbing a gun from them, an AK-47 rifle, and then firing against them. Then one of the police officers, the very OC, Assistant Superintendent of Police Emmanuel Bogere, tried to run away, but these suspected robbers shot him dead, also injuring his fellow the constable, who was later on rushed to Nakasero Hospital. And the police have said that they are still investigating this matter to find out who actually did that. That is it over there, and the situation remains tense. The people of Ntawo in Mukono Central say that this police officer was a really good officer. He had been a good service provider, who had been a good public servant, and that he conducted his work in the right way, and that his conduct was good, and he is now no more. And we do pray that may his soul rest in eternal peace. Now, the 2026 general elections is heating up. Every day, as always, tell you here, every new day, the people in this race, especially the presidential race, even others are campaigning here and there, the members of parliament and other political candidates. But now, with a major focus on this, the presidential race, the race that has 8 people in it, and all are fighting so hard to make sure at least they get into office. Of course, 1 out of 8 will be the president of the Republic of Uganda come 2026. Trying the rest of them, 7 out of 8, of course, if we do not consider now the current president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, these 7 have to fight so hard to make sure they beat General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and of course democratically, and now take over the office. The office he has held for now close to 40 years, and he still promises to protect the gains that have been achieved so far by the National Resistance Movement government. And now in the race, some of them, including Nandala Nathan Mafabi, who is the presidential flag bearer for the Forum for Democratic Change, and yesterday he was in Kalilo. He said he will protect their vote if they vote him into office. And of course, that was following some questions he received from the residents there, who were asking him about protecting the election to make sure that their votes are secure, no one tampers with them. And they were asking him how he is ready, how the Forum for Democratic Change is ready to make sure their vote is protected. And of course, he assured them that if these people turn out in large numbers and vote him into office, it will still be difficult for anyone who would want to tamper with this election and to tamper with the results. That if they vote in large numbers and they vote the Forum for Democratic Change, of course, voting Nandala Nathan Mafabi into office, that if they vote in large numbers, there will be no way these people, or whoever would want to tamper with the results, will have a way in there. And he promised that everything will be done well and that he is ready to make sure their vote is secured if they vote him into office. Of course, he promised to better the economy in his agenda of money in the pockets. So the current sitting president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, was also in Kisoro and Lubanda and said that he is ready. He has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that he can be a leader Ugandans can trust. And he said that now Ugandans should vote the National Resistance Movement. And now we saw even some members of NUP now crossing to NRM, joining the National Resistance Movement officially, saying that they have seen the light in NRM. President Museveni promised the people there, and the NRM team says they are ready to deliver the best, including enabling Uganda achieve the middle income status, something that he has been talking about for at least some good time, and now we are waiting to see if the Ugandans vote him again. Will this thing happen? Will Uganda be among the middle income? Will Uganda achieve the middle income status, or it will just stop in campaigns? Of course, a question that can only be told when the right time comes. That is, if they vote him into office in 2026. And of course, our expectations are still open to every individual. Whoever wins will be here to tell you who wins. That is after the Electoral Commission has declared the winner. And now, in the same manner, Baraka Munyago is also in Butambala, and he asked the people that they should vote the Common Man's Party. Mubaraka Munyagwa is the presidential flag bearer for the Common Man's Party, and he said the Common Man's Party is here for every Ugandan in their agenda of the platter, where they symbolize that the national cake should be shared equally among all regions in the country, not for a certain group of people. And the rules that follow this platter is that you cannot touch the food when others are not eating. You start at once and you end at once, symbolizing that the national cake should be shared equally, and at the same time, no region in the country should have more than any other region. Something that some say cannot happen, others take it as just a joke, and others say it is the right thing for Uganda. Now, he was also in Butambala asking the people to vote him into office, that he will better the country's economy, including chasing the illegal migrants, saying that these people are taking over the jobs of the Ugandans, and now that if he becomes president in the shortest time possible, these illegal immigrants will be out of the country. That the investors he considers to be investors are those that can do what most Ugandans cannot do, and that an investor who can do what Ugandans are capable of doing is not an investor, and Uganda does not need such people anymore. To give you an example of those who can who have small shops that even Ugandans can have, that such people will not be given room to be in Uganda or do business in Uganda, because they are taking away the jobs of Ugandans. And that is it there. Also, General Gregory Michamuntoela, who is the presidential flag bearer for the Alliance for National Transformation, was in Namisindwa, and he said that he has a clean track record and that the people should trust the Alliance for National Transformation and vote him into office, and he becomes Uganda's next president. Now, in our other news, the Electoral Commission has also promised that by the end of this week they will have released the verdicts. Of course, the Electoral Commission received petitions from different individuals who had some questions on the academic qualifications of some nominated candidates, or either on the academic documents, or either on their nomination processes. And now the Electoral Commission has said that after following a maximum level of scrutiny, they now have 80% of all the petitions. They have the verdicts. The Electoral Commission Tribunal is ready with the verdicts of 80% of all petitions filed. And this was confirmed by the Electoral Commission spokesperson Julius Muchunguzi, and we are waiting for these results. All you need to do is just be part of this mighty platform here at the Alternative TikTok TV. We prioritize information that is non-partisan, information that you can rely on. Now let's see what happened On a day like this in history, we remember the death of Malawian first ever president, Kamuzu Banda. Let's have this. Good morning.
Freedom! Freedom! Move forward! Move forward!
November 25th is a day marked by independence, leadership, and complex legacies. Join us as we explore the life and times of Hastings Kamuzu Banda, Malawi's first president. In the heart of Africa, Malawi gained independence from British colonial rule on July 6, 1964, under Banda's leadership. Born around March 15, 1898, in Kasungu, Banda's early life was marked by traditional Malawian culture and education. He attended the Livingstonia Mission School and later pursued higher education in the United States and the United Kingdom. Banda studied at the Wilberforce Institute in Ohio and later at Indiana University, where he graduated with a degree in history and political science. He then moved to the University of Edinburgh, where he studied medicine and qualified as a doctor in 1941. During his time in Europe, Banda became involved in African nationalist politics, joining the Nyasaland African Congress and advocating for independence from British colonial rule. In the 1950s, Banda returned to Nyasaland, quickly becoming a prominent figure in the country's independence movement. As Banda's influence grew, so did intentions with the British colonial authorities. In 1959, Banda was arrested and imprisoned for his involvement in the NSC, but he was released in 1960 to participate in the constitutional talks. The following year, Banda became the first Malawian prime minister, leading the country to independence on July 6, 1964. After independence, Banda consolidated his power, declaring Malawi a republic and becoming the country's first president. In 1966, he declared Malawi a one-party state, with the Malawi Congress Party as the sole legal party. Banda's presidency was marked by authoritarian rule, with widespread human rights abuses and suppression of opposition. His regime was supported by the West, however, due to his anti-communist stance and perceived stability. During his rule, Banda implemented various development projects, including improvements to Malawi's infrastructure and education system. However, these achievements were often overshadowed by his brutal suppression of dissent and the country's poor economic performance. In the early 1990s, Banda's regime faced growing opposition, both domestically and internationally. Economic stagnation, combined with pressure from the international community and Malawian pro-democracy activists, forced Banda to agree to a referendum on multi-party democracy in 1993. The following year, Banda and his party lost the country's first multi-party elections, and he relinquished the presidency to Bakil Muluzi. Despite the controversy surrounding his rule, Banda remains a significant figure in Malawian history. His life and presidency serves as a reminder of the complexities of African politics and the ongoing quest for stability, democracy, and human rights in the region. Kenneth Rubatsimbira, DigTalk TV.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues,